In the quiet, manicured streets of Willow Grove Estates, where the scent of fresh-cut grass and blooming jasmine hung heavy in the late summer air, life moved with a predictable, almost eerie calm. This was a place where every mailbox stood at the exact same angle. Every lawn was a flawless green canvas, and the Homeowners Association rulebook was treated like holy scripture. At the heart of this obsessive order was Margaret Hensley, a woman whose sharp eyes and tighter jawline seemed to scan the world for the tiniest flaws. As the self-appointed queen of the HOA's design Re-VYEW board, Margaret didn't just enforce rules, she wielded them like a scepter, guarding the neighborhood's sky-high property values with a zeal that bordered on fanaticism. Her own yard was a shrine to perfection, shrubs carved into unnatural cubes, grass so chemically pristine it practically glowed. A single stray leaf wouldn't dare linger without her overworked gardeners swooping in. But not everyone in Willow Grove bowed to Margaret's VY shout. Tucked at the end of a shady cul-de-sac was the cozy, slightly weathered home of Clara Thompson, a soft-spoken widow in her late 70s with a warm smile and a heart bigger than her half-acre lot. Clara's backyard wasn't a showpiece site, was a haven. There, in a charming little stable that looked more like a storybook cottage than a barn, lived Daisy, a 28-inch tall miniature therapy horse. With her soft gray coat, soulful eyes, and a calm that seemed almost magical, Daisy was no ordinary pet. She was the cornerstone of Clara's small therapy program for neighborhood kids with disabilities, kids like 8-year-old Mia, whose shaky steps grew steady with Daisy's gentle support, or 11-year-old Ethan, whose rare smiles only appeared when he brushed Daisy's mane, whispering secrets to her twitching ears. The faint smell of hay and cedar Shaw VYNGS from Clara's yard was, to most, a comforting reminder of Daisy's quiet miracles. To Margaret Hensley, it was an assault on everything secreta farm stench that threatened her perfect suburbia. Margaret had been gunning for Daisy from the moment Clara brought her to Willow Grove 2 years ago, armed with town permits and reluctant HOA approval from before Margaret's iron grip on the board was complete. To her, Daisy wasn't a therapy animal. She was a blight, a walking violation of the neighborhood's residential character. At first, Margaret's attacks were subtle. Snide remarks at HOA meetings about livestock and allergens, vague warnings about property values. When Clara politely ignored her and the board swayed by kids who adored, Daisy refused to act. Margaret turned VY-sious. Official letters, stamped with the HOA logo and dripping with her signature flourish, landed in Clara's mailbox like clockwork. They cited nuisance odors, unseemly enclosures, even excessive insect life, claims so absurd they'd be laughable if they weren't so relentless. Clara, though shaken, responded with grace, sending vet records, cleaning schedules, and in VY-TES for Margaret to see Daisy's work. Margaret just sneered, dismissing it as sentimental nonsense. One humid afternoon, as Clara tended her roses, she caught Margaret staring at Daisy's stable from the sidewalk, her gaze cold and unyielding, like a predator sizing up prey. Clara couldn't hear the muttered words, but filth and remove sliced through the air, chilling her despite the sun. That look haunted Clara, knotting her stomach with dread. She didn't know Margaret was already plotting something far worse than letters. 2 doors down lived Daniel Harper, the state police commissioner, a towering man with a calm presence and a reputation for unshakable integrity. After years tackling high-stakes cases, he'd moved to Willow Grove for peace, a place to raise his daughter, Sophie, away from the chaos of his job. But peace was hard to come by with Margaret's crusade against Clara. Daniel had seen Daisy's magic firsthand at a block party, watching Mia, Sophie's classmate, light up as she petted the little horse. Clara's quiet dignity impressed him. Margaret's pettiness disgusted him. He'd overheard her at an HOA meeting, gloating to a crony about clearing out problems with firmness. The words stuck with him, an unsettling hint of something darker. Still, as a neighbor, he hesitated to step in, wary of seeming to flex his authority. That hesitation would soon gnaw at him. Frustrated by the board's refusal to back her, Margaret decided rules weren't enough. Daisy's stable had to go permanently. She hatched a plan, cold and calculated, bypassing the HOA entirely. In a dimly lit coffee shop miles away, she met Vince Russo, a contractor known for his bulldozer and loose ethics. Spinning a tale of a dangerous, abandoned shed threatening kids, she flashed a fake HOA badge, oozed authority, and offered a fat cash stack for a pre-dawn demolition. "Quick, quiet, no questions," she said, her eyes glinting with something unhinged. Vince, lured by the money, didn't blink. Before dawn on a gray Tuesday, as Willow Grove slept, Margaret stood on a damp patch of grass by Clara's property, her phone propped on a tripod, live streaming to an imagined audience of concerned citizens. Her voice, too loud for the hour, dripped with fake cheer. "Good morning, Willow Grove. Margaret Hensley here, your HOA watchdog. Today, we're fixing a long-standing Isarian unauthorized structure and its foul odors dragging down our beautiful community. Time for a cleanse." She never mentioned Daisy, the kids, or the therapy program. Those truths didn't fit her narrative. The growl of Vince's bulldozer shattered the silence, its steel bucket gleaming like a weapon as it rolled toward Daisy's stable. Clara, a light sleeper since Margaret's harassment began, jolted awake. Peering through her curtains, she saw the machine's yellow bulk and Margaret's smug face lit by her phone. Horror hit her. Daisy was still inside, asleep in her straw bed. "No. Oh God, Daisy," Clara gasped, stumbling outside in her nightgown, bare feet slipping on wet stone. "Stop. My horse is in there," she screamed, her voice raw with panic. Margaret smirked in her camera. "Just some predictable drama, folks. Sentimentality won't stop progress." Vince, deaf to Clara's cries over the engine's roar, followed Margaret's orders. The bulldozer's bucket smashed into the stable, wood splintering with a sickening crack. Daisy's terrified whinny pierced the air, a sound that would haunt Clara forever. Daniel Harper, up early with his coffee and reports, froze at the noise. Clara's shouts and Daisy's cries snapped him into action. From his window, he saw the bulldozer tearing into the stable, Clara's frail figure running toward it, and Margaret filming like a twisted director. Fury surged through him. He sprinted out, dialing 911. "This is Commissioner Harper. 14, Maple Lane, Willow Grove. Unauthorized demolition in progress. Therapy horse in danger. Send police and animal control now." He vaulted Clara's fence as the bulldozer ripped another chunk of the stable, exposing Daisy's trembling form. Clara sobbed, tried to reach her, but Margaret blocked her, arm outstretched. "It's just a shed, Clara. The horse will be fine elsewhere," she lied coldly, eyes on her stream. Daniel's voice boomed. "Stop that machine. Police." Vince, startled, killed the engine, the sudden silence heavy with Clara's cries and Daisy's whimpers. Daniel guided Clara to Daisy, helping her lead the shaken horse to safety. Then he turned to Margaret, his gaze icy. "Margaret Hensley, what the hell are you doing?" She stammered. "This is HOA business. You have no authority." But Daniel wasn't buying it. "I've seen the board reject your complaints. This looks like felony property destruction and animal endangerment. Did you know Daisy's a registered therapy horse for disabled kids?" As police sirens wailed closer, Vince, sweating and pale, spilled everything. "She hired me, said it was a hazard, paid cash, swore she had permits. And she had me bring gas cans and bags she called fertilizer. Smelled wrong, though." Daniel's gut twisted. Gas cans? Fertilizer? Margaret's cleanse suddenly sounded like arson or worse. Police cordoned off the scene as Daniel called the state arson unit. A K-9 named Blaze sniffed out gasoline and ammonium nitrate, a homemade explosive in Vince's truck. The truth hit like a sledgehammer. Margaret hadn't just planned to demolish the stable. She'd intended to burn it, maybe blow it up with Daisy and Clara nearby. Her live stream's cleansing was a chilling confession. Margaret, now ashen and silent, was cuffed and read her rights. The neighborhood woke to crime scene tape and headlines that spread like wildfire. Her own stream, seized as EVY Denke, Damned, her national news screamed of an HOA tyrant turned would-be arsonist. The HOA, scrambling, apologized profusely, stripped Margaret of everything, but it wasn't enough. Lawsuits loomed. Margaret's trial was a spectacle. Faced with overwhelming evidence testimony, the explosives, her VYDOsh took a plea. Guilty to animal cruelty, arson conspiracy, and endangerment. The judge, revolted, sentenced her to years in prison and forced her to forfeit millions. That money built Daisy's Haven, a gleaming therapy center name for the little horse, served VY in countless kids. Daisy, after a brief recovery, became its star, her gentle presence a beacon of hope. Daniel, watching kids laugh with Daisy at the center's opening, marveled at how one woman's hate had birthed something so beautiful. Margaret rotted in a cell, her name a byword for cruelty. Daisy's Haven thrived, proof that compassion could outlast even the darkest malice. What do you think? Was Margaret just a control freak gone too far? Or was there something truly EVYL in her plan? Should HOAs have this much power over people's lives? And what about Clara? Could you have stayed as calm as she did? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that'll keep you talking.